Hi, this is Kevin McNeil coming to you again, and this next lesson comes from Psalms 46. You know, it seems like in this trying time there are a lot of people who are dealing with a lot of issues. I find myself talking with a lot of people who have issues of economy, issues of relationship, issues of health and social welfare. And so, you know, I sit back sometimes and I wonder if there are times when we often forget. We forget about the God that we say we serve. We forget that our God is an awesome God. If we forget that through Him, He says in Mark chapter 9, that all things are possible if we believe. So I was looking at a scripture, and I was thinking about some of you, and myself included, honestly. And this certain scripture, Psalms 46, comes to mind. Psalms 46 is an interesting read. The annotations in my Bible says that it's written by the sons of Alamoth, sons of Korah, and it's sung by the choir of Alamoth. The sons of Korah were these brothers whose father's name was Korah, and in a great battle, they lost everything to include their father. And in the midst of losing everything they knew to be near and dear to them, they penned this psalm. And this psalm, remember, the psalms are actually songs. You know, they will be sung today more instead of being just read. And so, in this particular song, it's a song played in a very light key. It's written for tenors and sopranos, one of those light, high-pitched songs that obviously I could sing. But the scripture says God is a refuge for us and a strength, a very help in the time of trouble. Therefore will we not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God. The holy city, God shall help her. And that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice and the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations He has made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease and to the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen, and in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. And that's Psalms 46 in its entirety. You know, it's interesting when life has caused them and to find themselves in a strange place, flung into turmoil. These brothers sit down and write a song in the midst of their issue that states that God is their refuge. The very first line. I wonder how many of us, the moment we get into trouble, the first thing we do is turn to God. You know, here, a more pointed question probably to ask is, what God we turn to? Because I always say, when you get into trouble, the first person you call is the person you think has the most power, the most ability to help. So when trouble comes, if the first person you call is your mother, that might be your God. If the first person you call is your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friend here or a brother, and you go through a long list of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people before you ever stop and think to turn to God, that might be an issue. that might be something you might want to reconsider. For the Christian, God is always the first call you make. Because when no one else can help, surely He can help. In the midst of their issue, the first line that they pen says, God is a refuge for us, a very present help in trouble. Many times we find ourselves in trouble. It is incumbent upon us to realize that God is that help. That God is the person that can help no matter what's going on. The second thing of note is they take the time to describe how bad the situation is. Talks about the waters roaring, the mountains being carried into the sea, all these bad things happening. I'm here to remind you that in the midst of all the bad things happening in your life, God is still on the throne. God is still able to carry you through whatever it is you're going through. Don't get caught up in the issues and the calamities of this world. Take whatever it is and turn to Jesus. We sit back at our problems and we look like, and we get overwhelmed. The reality of it is, if Christ is truly the head of your life, it doesn't matter. You got one more move. You can go on. They talk about the heathen rage and all this stuff going on in the scripture. And then they get all the way to verse 7, and they said, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come behold the works of the Lord, what desolations He has made. It is Him, He makes the wars to cease. I don't know what war you're fighting in your life, but if you're fighting something and you're ready for the battle to stop, give it to Jesus. If there's something you've been frustrated with going over and over and over and over and over, and you can't figure it out, and you can't figure out how to make it stop, simply give it to Jesus. That's all you need to do. And let Him fix it. The reality of it is, for most of us, we think we're so smart, we think we've got it all together, we think that we can get it figured out. And the reality of it is, for most of us, is we cannot. So, I leave you with this thought. When you can do nothing else, turn to Psalms 46 and verse 10. Psalms 46 verse 10 says this, be still and know that I am God. Most of us are like little kids. You know, your little kids have a broken toy, you bring it to your parents, and you want them to fix it. And instead of simply letting them go and do whatever they're going to do, you keep wanting to put your hands in it like you want to help. Be still. Let God be God. You are not God. If you were God, you wouldn't find yourself in the mess that you're in. But because you find yourself in the mess that you're in, maybe you should just let God do whatever God does in situations like this. Be still and know that He is God. Whatever situation, whatever circumstance that you find yourself in, I don't care who said it, what did it, wherever it is, understand this. God is still on the throne. I don't know if your money is short, relationships have gotten strange, things seem all out of order. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. And remember, it is Him that made us and not we ourselves. This is the word of the Lord. This is Reverend Kevin McNeil signing off, saying I love you and God bless.